Welcome, everybody, to USL Live, Season 54, Week 6 preview. I'm joined with my esteemed co-host, the return of the GOAT, Rami Loss.
Greetings and salutations.
Hello. Just going to be us two in the booth today, so we'll get this going right away. We'll do last week's review, Week 5. First, we had Click, Clack, Pow against Care Package. Click, Clack, Pow had home. Bax never loses left side except every time he plays left side. Other than that, what do you got, Rom?
The first game against Care Package, it was kind of like a shit show for Care Package, honestly, especially when we lost. I think we lost either 3 or 4 players to glitch spectate, who got specced out of the game because of base cross lines, but they were like in the middle of the map. And I think we've narrowed it down that it's some combination of the new baseline rules and the old code, but I don't think we actually know why it happened still. One of those was twice, Bowen said. So I think, Sabo got specced, I think twice and Leak once or something. It was a really weird, it put us in a weird place in terms of the way we were playing. It was just kind of hard to get back into form, but Danny sure did it. He played pretty well. The rest of us, it was kind of a chance for our B team to play. I enjoyed playing, although Victim just outclassed me in every conceivable way that game. As far as the opposition, Bax was really difficult to deal with. He was hitting everything that game. And I know he killed me twice, which was brutal, both in the back, both times, you fucking coward. But the rest of them, I mean, Ock did fine. They did not handle getting pushed very well, and after the first 6 or 7 minutes, we kind of settled into it and then got into the control of the game. So, I think they just need to play better as a team, work on controlled falling, that kind of thing. And definitely those early deaths are just rough. Once you get them, you got to run. And they just stood there and kind of fought a lot. So, I thought it was a fun game. And good job, CCP.
Yeah, I want to touch on a few things about that. Yeah, I believe Exodus has figured it out. He reversed the scripts last night. Wasn't happening. He found it in the old legacy code. Something with terrain. He found them on the terrain, so it should be fixed. So I don't foresee us having any issues in the future. Other than that, it was good to see Care Package just be able to push everything. Bax did have a good game. Oct going 2-9. He did have some good Ripper streams, but not the Oct that you're used to seeing. Kind of got exposed a little bit. My big question was why Llama, Med, Noir, Marine?
Yes. There has to be some story
Llama and I
there.
are boys.
I tell you what,
but,
I almost want to bring Bax in just to explain that decision. Because Llama is he's a good Marine at shooting. He's not the best at positioning or at dodging, frankly, but at shooting, he's pretty good. And especially if you're trying to stream somebody out. And Noir is a pretty decent medic. I think I kind of overvalue his strength at medic. But I don't understand the class choice there at all.
Yeah, I think Noir's kind of had a rough season as med, so I probably think it's that, and you kind of want your strong meds to play. But Llama, I don't know. I expected him to improve a little bit more by this point. I was kind of hyping him up when he first came in because he does have good aim. It just his medic is just he caught 3 or 4 nades in this match, strafed into a bunch of shit, missed a couple heals. I'd rather just have him on LMG. Marine or something and just let him Marine so he doesn't have to think too much about healing his Marines and he can just push. That's what I would like to see out of CCP, but I also understand wanting to have him as a better medic because Devil Dog kind of had a rough day too, just still resting. So
and as I know,
kind of understand that.
As I know all too well, it's bad when you have any class that dies early. It doesn't matter what you're playing. If you're the first death, that's rough for your team. But when you're dying early as a medic, that is brutal for your team. And there was a couple of times, particularly with Llama, where he caught a nade or something. This is just a rough week where if you die, man, consider that wing of the attack gone. That's just rough.
Exactly. And with him and DD dying early, it kind of crippled them. And I was expecting Bax to full out camp on this map, especially having Kali. Not sure why they kept trying to push under Mesa. They did a few times there, and it was kind of above weed, just kind of really bad positioning from them. So not sure why they did all that, but other than that, as far as care package goes, shout out Jag and Rom for getting in. Yeah, Danny, Sabo, Axis, Leak all had good games. Hop had a mediocre game 7-7, but I think he played a little bit better than 7-7. So shout out to him. So we'll move on to the next match here, which was Bugs at American Eagle. I'll let you go first. I'm sure you probably don't have too much to say, but what's your input on this game?
I mean, I want to call it the B team for Bugs, but I mean, we're really only talking about a couple players different from the usual. It was
Mhm.
basically the Bugs roster. They just didn't play very hard, to be quite frank. I think Bugs were in control from the beginning to the end. It was over faster than it began. But I was kind of Darth is the top of the boards if you look at just the kill sheet.
Mhm.
But I thought Darth was probably the one of the worst players on the team in terms of on the field. He died
100%.
twice in some battles, like more than once. He died twice in the same battle. I think he's got to control that. I thought Bowen played pretty well. This was one of the better games for Bowen overall. And I thought Suicider also as a medic was probably Bowen and Suicider are my only standouts overall for the team. But otherwise they just did not. They just could not hold the tidal wave that was Bugs at any point anywhere.
Yeah, well, I'll add Draco to that list. Draco did get 2 early kills on Chompy.
Yeah,
And he kind of bullied Fausto a few times as well. Overall, obviously, Bugs was going to win this match. A few class things. I would have kept Cannibal on Ripper the whole game, especially from the bottom side. I would have switched Spark to LMG. I just don't think demo works on this map. I know he got a
yeah.
few cheeky kills, but I would rather just see a stream of LMG or play him Ripper and Messiah LMG, some sort of switch up there. I do think they look like a more professional team with Darth and Bowen in, except for Darth's bad deaths. He caught a couple nades. There's a few times Ernie streamed him and he didn't dodge one bullet,
Yeah, just
and he
walk
just
straight into
died.
13. Yeah, like what is going
Yeah.
on? Yeah, I think
I
there
thought.
has to be earlier recognition from Spark or from
Mhm,
somebody on that team that he is ineffective. By the 15-minute mark, you should know that you're not participating in the offense at all. And
uh-huh.
and that change has got to come earlier. It's just got to.
Yeah, and I like demo. I think demo's a good class. Just on KR against bugs, I just don't think it really works. Um, you're getting pushed back a lot, and it's hard to fall when you're demo because you can't stream when you fall. You can shoot a couple RPGs, but you kind of have to hope they hit, and if they don't, you're kind of fucked. So other than that, Mike C had a few unfortunate deaths pushing in early without his team. He told me that the team was supposed to push with him and didn't. So I assume a few of those are team deaths, but still going 4-16 is not great. Um, Other than that, on the bug side, ESO always good fantasy pick and stat pad games. Going 22-4. Ernie looked very good in 17-3. I think Ernie carried this game as Ripper. I think he allowed
We both said
Bugs
this.
to
We
do
called this
everything.
game, and
Yeah,
tactical was the difference maker. He was the most dominant
100%.
player all game long, and I definitely think he deserved the MVP. But there were
Hmm.
a few guys that were very that contributed a lot more than the others as well, and Iso's up there as well.
Absolutely.
So
Other than that, we'll move on to the next game unless you have anything more to say
no,
about that. We'll go to Dead Squad at Click Clack Pow. At times, this game looked competitive, but I'll let you go into it.
yeah, the first 12 minutes, I just watched this game back actually when I got home. I kind of fast forwarded through it. The first 12 minutes were pretty tight actually. I mean, I think that CCP was losing the battles overall. I mean, they were definitely down overall by the 12th minute, but they were in it. It very much felt like it could still switch and CCP might win the next battle, and then oh man, we're in a close fight, and then it just slipped away. And it slipped away because of consistent play from guys like Ender and Typhoon in particular. Those guys were
Mhm.
just mopping up the kills. I don't think it was a particularly good day for Uni or BB. I thought both of those guys played pretty bad. Uni in particular kind of shocked me. Well, I mean, his scoreline at 7-4 doesn't look that bad, but watch that game back. There's some really bad mistakes from Uni that I don't expect from him to make because he's been a smart player over the past few seasons. But it didn't matter that much because CCP really didn't seize on any of that. I think Yosh and Kevin were probably the only reason this wasn't just a really ugly scoreline at the end of it because they were holding chokes that were vital for CCP to stay in it, and they still were losing. This is the game where I would really cite the sloppy deaths of Llama and Devil Dog as being pronounced. Llama in particular and Solid Snake as well a couple times. They're catching nades that's just like, that could have been easily avoided. Like, you didn't need to die there. And yeah, I think that's a concern moving forward. You've gotta play smarter than that, especially against a team that you could have been competitive against, like Dead Squad. Like against Bugs, that's one thing. Dead Squad, honestly, there's a world in which CCP could win this. It's a tough one to see, and it's likely not going to happen. But there's a world where it could happen, but it definitely doesn't happen when a medic goes down first in such an easy way.
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to shout out Ender. I think Ender had a really good game here. They definitely looked more professional. I know I've said that word a few times now, but with Yoshin, the difference between Yoshin and Yosh not in is night and day. I think if Yosh is not in this game, calling shots, being vocal, this game probably gets out of hand pretty quickly. They did make a few dumb pushes still, but I think Yosh has a huge impact on this game. You see Oct get a couple more kills, backs, skill goes positive, hit a few clutch snipes. I think Kevin had the best day for them. Again, Llama had some really dumb deaths as medic. Jaeger, don't know what's up with him. Sometimes Jaeger plays pretty well. Other times he only has a W key. Kind of the most tunnel vision I've ever seen in a USL game in this match from him. He just runs straight past two Marines to try to get the medic, which is not always a bad idea, but it's when he does it. And I think he really cost him some battles. And then, on Dead Squad side, I was told that BB did lead this one. So you can kind of give him some grace on the slow start. Yeah, he did end up going 6-6. I think he started 0-4. So
yeah,
he did have a good second half of the game once they started rolling. But yeah, Ender and Typhoon, like we called on the commentary, really dominated this game. Also, always good to see Steve and Manu as a med duo. It's a very formidable med duo.
Yeah, no kidding.
And then, unless you have any more input on that one, we'll go to the last match. We got Care Package versus Do the Do, and Do the Do had Collie. Before you start, there was a question I want you to answer.
Sure.
That was brought up on commentary. Would the score have been this bad if Care Package had Collective?
No, I don't think so. I think we would have played a little better. I'd tell you the bigger factor than that, though. Would the scoreline have been better if the game wasn't at 11:45? Like, dude, I'm telling you, I was in the chat and all of our guys were dragging ass. I think it was just a longer day for some people, and there were people who were very tired before that game. I just don't think that played to our advantage. Also, we just did not look good. We just didn't look good at all. I don't know. You want me to just give the rest of my thoughts, or did you have something else on it?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, we just didn't have it. We just didn't have it. Just plain outright. That's just where it comes down to. Especially when you got guys like Do ran that game like I mean, they just know that map like the back of their hand, and they absolutely played that way. Whereas Care Package, man, just not really on the ball. There were some people who were tired. There were people who were just not on point generally. We like, I don't think I've seen Exodus play that poorly, honestly, at any point. That was an interesting, Sabotage is 2-9. Like, when do you see Sabotage go 2-9? Like, I think there was just some, I'm not sure what was going on overall. Mercy 3-11 as well. Like, we just had some rough performances that I'm not sure I think they were maybe kind of one-offs to a certain degree. While I think Do would have taken this match the vast majority of the times it gets played, I just didn't like the Care Package that showed up to this game. I think a lot of us realize that that's just not the best we can play. And I definitely hope that we don't see that kind of performance from us at any point moving on in the season.
Yeah, I think it was unfortunate. We really surrounded you on pretty much every play. I know
Mm-hmm.
I watched the game back and there's a few questions about Sav AT, but the reason Sav AT'd on Kali is so we can kind of figure out where you are at all times. So Sav can get the top angle, and then you always had Hop trying to combat Sav, but against an AT, Sav is always around a rock or around a ridge, so he can fall, and he has that burst damage, so a Marine is just not going to be able to hold him. Especially a Marine like Hop, who's not necessarily a passive Marine. He likes to hide, but when he's in the open, he kind of tries to ego check. So I would have liked to seen somebody like Danny or Exodus or even Leak or Shasta, basically anybody else but Hop there. Like I think Shasta would have been the call. I know in OFB last season, Shasta played a lot of the solo because Shasta's just never going to die. He's going to fall, but he's never going to die to the solo. So it would have been good to see him cover that. Other than that, yeah, it was just a swarm. A lot of decent scores from Do the Do. Basically, everybody got double digits, and Splitta got 6 and 4. But in this kind of match, I don't think it matters that much.
There's a
Um,
comment that came in that I'm interested you to weigh in on is they say
yeah.
that the problem with Care Package is that we're so reliant on Danny, but Ranger is not a good class to use on KR. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think Ranger's the worst class on KR, but against a good squad on KR, I think it's pretty bad. Because the whole concept of Ranger, everybody says it's like sniper. It's not. The long rifle on KR is just not good. It only does 35. I forget how much it's 35 to 40. I think 35. Um, but in a ranged fight, that can be healed right away. That's like catching two AR. So it's like you're hitting two AR, and then your DPS weapon, your MP5, doesn't reach.
Yeah,
So unless you're playing close in rocks, close in buildings every play, like when I see Care Package SB when they're on Collie, you'll always see Danny and Weed,
yeah,
which Ranger can be good. Knife MP5, he can get a quick kill. When you're up at tap, when you're up above your rocks, when you're in the middle of the road, F3, Ranger's just not it. I would have liked to see him switch sooner.
So
I
what does
think
he
he could have made a
switch to
difference.
in your mind to be most effective in a situation like that?
Marine,
Okay.
Marine. Danny's a good Marine. Just have him Marine.
Yeah. It
Um,
was
and then
discussed, I'll
yeah,
say that.
Yeah, I think he should have. I think it was probably too late by that time because we got up. I think we were up 16-1 at one point, like 24-7. It was probably too late for him to switch already, just because we got us to such a hot start. Um, and then yeah, Axis and Sabo had rough days. I don't think you'll see that again. 24-3, Bond said was the score at one point. Yeah. So at that point, is it worth even switching? And then yeah, somebody said, Ernie said it looks like Package kind of gave up halfway through. I kind of felt the same when you guys kind of just kept pushing down the road or trying to go to tap when you just lost every fight there. I know it's hard on Titan to get anywhere else, but maybe I'll push right. Everybody push left on KR, overload KR, do something. Don't just sit on Y road and in top of the road or top of the rocks because you're just going to get out angled, and I think that's what you saw.
Yeah. Long story short, I think that CP is a better team than they showed. I'm not sure that we're ever going to be rivaling do the do on that map at any point. So I guess I'm not sure if we know the playoff maps, but God, do we need to avoid KR?
I seriously doubt KR gets voted in because the lower seed has to play Titan, and you could see Bugs and Do vote KR, but I don't think either of us like KR that much. I like KR personally, but I
It
don't think either
definitely
squad does necessarily.
it definitely fits that Do and Bugs, frankly, can they just got a huge advantage, particularly if you get Collie.
Ernie says y'all would pick KR if Sov liked it. Sov does like KR, but the issue is that if you run the chance of getting Titan, and it's just not worth the risk. UD and EC are way more balanced maps. Like you saw Care Package beat Bugs from Kali on UD, and Bugs beat DTD from Titan. So, and EC is kind of always, neutral with the new camp rules, especially. You can't, if you take left, you can't just sit outside your base anymore. So I think those two will definitely get picked. So I don't think we'll see KR in the playoffs. We might not see KR for a few seasons, and there's a mailbag question about that later on. Any more comments on this match?
Nope. No, sir.
Okay, let me get Bowen in here, and we'll go over next week's Matches. Where is he? There he is.
Dude, this is going
Right.
to be week 6 is going to be one of the best weeks I've seen in a long time. There's some good games.
Hey,
Yeah, it's hey Bowen. There he is.
I don't know
Yeah,
that
I
we've
think week
seen a
6
week
is going to be the best week all season.
where I don't know that you have another week that I've seen in any season where you had this many good games in a row.
It's been a while.
Seats are lined up
The
pretty
issue
well.
is
Yeah.
there's some lower tier squads that always gets mixed in. I think week 4 was pretty good. It had 2 good matches, but this week has 3 good matches on paper.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of see how that goes. But let's get into it. I will go with the unscheduled one, Click Clack Pow American Eagle, which I'm assuming is probably going to be forced at 9:30. It looks like. So we'll go to that one first. We'll go to ROM first again, and that's American Eagle home against Click Clack Pow.
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance and vote on these while we're looking at them. I can encourage other people to do that as well on site if you just go to the @ symbol on the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I think personally this is my match of the week. We've always seen in past seasons how these lower tier squads, when they face off against one another, it turns into a complete slugfest. And I love that. I think it's fantastic to watch. And I'm probably going to try and hop in the commentary booth for this one. Who has the advantage walking out? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I have to give it probably to Bax because now with the additions of Kevin and Yosh, that's just huge. But is it totally possible American Eagle plays in this game? Yeah. I mean, I think Draco has been playing fantastic. Bowen, if you play in a game like you did this past weekend, if Darth decides to play not silly, if Mystery steps up and plays well, and Cal, we have yet to see a game from Cal. I'd like to see Cal get a start in a game like this. It's totally possible. Also, Suicider, I really want to comment again that he played really well last week. Those guys matter so much in a game like this. If they come out there with their A game, the sky's the limit. And this is a game where American Eagle could totally take their first win. It's 0-6 versus 1-6. I'm really looking forward to it. But right now, I'd probably take Click Click Pow overall by about 20 kills.
Okay, Bowen, what you got?
I mean, so this is the squad I'm on, so I'm trying not to be too biased, obviously. But
Nah, be biased. It's all right.
advantage wise, I'll say the A has the advantage because it's KR, right? We're going to be Kali's side. That's just the 25 kill advantage exists on KR as it is. So I personally like our chances on this pretty well. Bax and Octa historically have given squads that I've been on in the past trouble. But those were seasons ago, and they won by 5 kills previously. Now again, they had Yosh that week. And Kevin wasn't able to play that one, but we have myself, who I'm trying not to hype myself up too much, obviously, but I think I can make a bigger difference than what was happening in that match. I was screaming at people almost in my head last time I was watching them play against CCP. So I do feel like we have a bit of an advantage. I'm going to give us the win on this one, and I'm going to be biased on that. I'll give us a win by 10 kills, but we can see how it goes. And this is going to be a good game. Sniper on KR is always an interesting one to play against. So
yeah, so I'll go into it as well. You guys having Kali is definitely a huge advantage here. Sniper on Titan is just not good. As you see, Bax always begged for left side and mixes. It's because when he goes sniper on Titan, he goes 7-14. On Kali, he goes 18-5. So you see exactly why. So I think just having Kali alone is going to neutralize that. Bax says he's going to LMG, but that's a lie. Maybe he goes LMG, Kevin goes Ranger, and they have a
He
chance,
absolutely should. Just saying.
Yeah, he definitely should, but I don't think he will. Other than that, I think CCP probably pulls it out, but it's going to be a very close game. I think with Bowen and Darth, if Darth can sober up from what I've seen in the last couple of weeks from him and kind of keep it close to the chest, he can lead, and him and Bowen can have a huge impact on this game. If Mike C limits his deaths, that'll be huge as well. If they get all that going. You guys have a good chance. I'm gonna give it to CCP by probably 12 kills. I think Yosh will show up to this match. Yosh loves to announce these matches, so I think he loves to play in them too. Just having a huge impact, such a close game, I think is enticing enough to show. Unless he's got to work. I know sometimes he has to work. If also if it's at 9:30, he might not show. Might be a little early for him, but I think if Yosh does show, I'll pick CCP. If Yosh doesn't show, I think I still take CCP, but probably like a 2-3 kill game, so like half a battle, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go on to the next match, which looks right now to be Care Package versus Dead Squad, and Care Package has home. Rom, go ahead.
This is, I mean, but my match of the week is the CCP versus AE game, but this is probably, I don't know. The next game's good too, man. I don't know. This is going to be a lot better than the last time they played. Dead Squad has won a lot of the scrimmages between these two teams. I think Care Package has been working on a few things very specific and had some rotation in the lineup going on, but nevertheless, DS gives them a run for their money regularly. So I don't know who has home on this one.
CP.
CP. Okay, so yeah, I mean that's it. That's a big deal advantage in a game like this. I am going to take CP with that. I think CP wins by probably 15 to 20 as well. But I think it's going to be a close game up until maybe the last 10 minutes. And then maybe the last 10 minutes, there's a breakaway and we start to see some separation that ends up in a final 20 kills or so. But, you know, DS can look really good, and I think they want to win this game bad.
Bowen?
I think we're going to see some burnout about 10 minutes into the game. Just a little bit of leadership burnout, trying to keep the game really close. I do think this is going to be like a 35 kill win by Care Package. The Kali power is too much. Dead Squad, you know, good squad. They have some great plays. But I think some of the guys get out in front too frequently, and they're going to get picked off. And prove me wrong. It's great, but I don't think this is going to be extremely close. But like I said, show it off, and I hope it's a better match than what I'm thinking it's going to be. But I would give it 35 to the Care Package.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer. Their first game was super close. I think Care Package won by like 5 or 6. Yeah, they won by 6, and it came kind of right down to the wire. Dead Squad played pretty poorly early and really picked it up. And Care Package had a home on UD, which is obviously not the same as home on KR, but I would argue still the better side. I think I'm gonna take Care Package in this game, but I'm gonna go 11 kills. I think Ender is gonna have another good game. Ender is secretly having a really good season.
Yeah.
Even in their losses, Ender is showing out. I think he's definitely the MVP of that team. I think he's the best Marine killing class on that team, and
60,
I think the gap grows every week.
64 and 45. He leads the team in kills overall by 10. Yeah, he's absolutely a stud right now for Dead Squad.
SOE Ender is back.
Yeah, and especially with Pandy, I might still be in Asia, so you might have Typhoon LMG, which is I think his best class. Please don't play demo on this map, Typhoon, if you're listening. Not good on this map. But yeah, I think Care Package handles this from Kali. It's going to be really close early. Care Package is going to win a late battle where Dead Squad gets a little desperate, and they're going to get the kills and go up by like a battle and a half, I think.
Yeah, you have it at 11. I have it at 15 to 20, and I think Bowen has it at what, 35? You said
35.
So a little bit of a difference there in terms of how we look at it, but I think we all agree the result is likely to be Care Package. So if we see an upset by Dead Squad, that'd be one hell of a game.
Yeah, especially from Titan, it will definitely be a upset.
Yeah, for sure.
And then next to last game, we have Bugs at Dead Squad. Dead Squad has Kali on KR. Rom, go ahead.
Yeah, I think this is another contender for game of the week. Bugs won the first match, but I mean, Dew has every reason to win this. One more time, who is home again on this one? I'm sorry.
Dead Squad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I skipped to. I was talking about. Oh, you said Bugs versus Dead
Oh yeah,
Squad,
this is
not
Bugs.
Do.
Bugs at Dead Squad. Yeah. Dead
Okay,
Squad
I'm sorry.
home.
I was going into order. It's written on here. My
No
bad.
problem.
Yeah, I think this is an easy win for Bugs. To be quite honest, I think they're coming in form. I think if they play their A squad in this one, which they may, just to keep them warm, that this could be pretty brutal. But yeah, I'd say Bugs win it by go with Bowen's line about 35 or 40.
I'm gonna flip the script a little bit. I do think that Bugs wins this one. I do think it's closer than it seems. Again, I am really, really heavily leaning on these KR Kali advantages. And with Dead Squad having home, it really adds something to this. And a lot of the aggressiveness from Bugs gets kind of quelled a little bit, trying to deal with just pushing through the Titan side. And so I do think that this game ends up being about a 10 to 15 kill win by Bugs. I do think it stays pretty close most of the way through because of that, the side advantage. And I might get excommunicated from the Bug server because of that. But still, it's I think it'll be a better game than it might see on paper.
Yeah, I kind of don't know where I want to. I'm going to pick Bugs on this, obviously, but having Kali definitely helps, especially with Man. I think Manu might take the reins on Kali on this because they're going to want to keep it super slow. Like you guys mentioned, I think Manu's not going to go above the road. It might not go above the river all game unless they absolutely have to at the end of the game. I know Bugs has done a good job in past 4 or 5 seasons being patient, and before that group of players would like still want to push up. So I think they do a better job of being patient and waiting for them. So they're not going to necessarily engage south. They might see them and fall, but there might be some ego checks too. And they say, hey, this is Dead Squad. We can beat them. We beat them by a lot the first time. Let's push them. So I can kind of see both sides of the coin for that one. I do think that Bugs is going to win this one, and I'm going to go by 27. I think it's going to be a super this is going to be a super close game early. But once Dead Squad has to push, I think, and there's a mailbag question about this later too. You see a lot of DS in Bug Squad, or Bug Squad, Dead Squad, with not really being able to push very well, like the old Camp Kane days as well. Like if they get down early, they're not nearly as good of a team pushing as they are holding. So if they get down early, it could be a care package situation versus like DTD last week, where they just really have to kind of try to push and get angles, and Bugs is going to surround them. So I'm going to take Bugs in this one by 27. What did you say, Rom, for your spread?
I said 35, I think.
Okay, and Bowen, what'd you say again? Remind me.
10 to 15.
10 15. Okay, yeah. So we all pick Bugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So we're all in agreement on this one too. I think it's going to be a good game. Hopefully it's close. Hopefully it's more on Bowen's side and 10-15, and we get to see a really good game and not a blowout. Because some of the Dead Squad games this year have been blowouts, and some of the care package games have been blowouts, which you don't like to see from your third and fourth squad. You kind of want all top 4 to be competitive against each other.
Let me put this out there. The 10-15 game is care package Dead Squad. If Dead Squad loses that game against CP, I think that's the one they put all their effort in. So if they lose that, I think they go in with a losing mentality, thinking they're going to lose against Bugs. And that's why I think it gets as bad as I think it does. But if they won against care package, I think it could completely go the other way.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because if they get that win on care package, they could go in with a lot of confidence.
To hell, yeah.
Yeah. I still take Bugs, but I mean, I think this is going to be a good match, and they'll probably get away at the end, but hopefully it's a super good match and we get to see a whole slate of good matches all weekend long. We might get 4 good matches, like Ram said earlier. That could be amazing. So let's move on to the last match of the night, game of the week, game of the season.
That's your game of this is your game of the week.
Game of the year. I mean, it's got to be rematch. Right? It's a fight for number 1 at this point.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess it depends on the kill spread, for sure. What is the kill spread from last time?
Well, yeah, the kill spread for us, I think, was 22.
Yeah,
something like that. So
that's quite a bit for a game like this. Yeah, 42-20. So 20. That's a lot of kills in terms of differential.
The issue is if we win, we get one because they already lost the care package, and we beat care package twice. So
Yeah.
whoever wins this game will be number one. Because if Bugs wins, they'll have 2 against us, and the tiebreaker doesn't matter. If we win, they lost the care package, so we'll most likely end the season with 1 loss, and we'll have 2.
That's true. That's true.
So we'll see. But go ahead and break down the match for us.
I mean, I just think it's going to be a hell of a game. I mean, I hope. Do we see Kaga? Do we know what the situation was? Is it just late and he's got dad duties, or is he just literally sitting so that other people can play? Or I don't know the situation there with Kaga, but Kaga must be in this game. Especially if Bugs want to compete again. I think they got lucky to do 22. But Gift is also now on this roster. I really want to see Gift show up, and I think that makes it. I mean, ESO, Gift, Tactical. If Kaga shows Chompy, and then oh my gosh, this is gonna be an epic game. I mean, one of the best games in a long time that I've seen. So I'm looking forward to it. I think. Go ahead.
Is there anybody on Do the Do roster you want to see show up that doesn't show up a lot or hasn't shown up yet?
That's a good point. I mean, we've seen a few games from Champion, but well, actually, has he played even this season in an official?
Not on Sundays.
I've just seen him.
SB'd.
I've seen him in SBs, yeah, and it just feels like he's been around the entire time. I mean, yeah, Champion's probably the only one that if Champ shows up, that's a different game for sure. This could be, especially if Kaga and Champ were to both show up. Oh my God, this would be a game. The question I think for Do more is, who do you play of the guys that shows up?
There he is, right on QS Lob saying it in spec chat. Rum asked the question. I mean, at this point, I don't know the full lineup, but if Champ shows, he plays. I think Sov and Iron play, Pister, myself, Jeff, and then might be a question after that. Just from performances this season, at least, and the first game.
Bowen, thoughts?
Ernie got me with a Tylenol comment. Yeah, so this,
I should have.
I think 22 on UD is a bit of a almost a red herring in a way, because UD is a small map, and once you get ahead, it's hard to get away from it. So I do think that score line is kind of hard to base anything off of. However, I'm gonna go with the Kali advantage again, because Bugs has Kali, and that, Do the Do is going to show. I'm hoping to see some guys that we may not see all the time, but I mean, even who is that at this point, right? Like the medics are kind of the key point there. Iron and Havoc being starting medics would be obviously be the huge piece for that. They've been here all season, so I don't see why they wouldn't be. But I'm going to give this one to Bugs in overtime, actually, and I think that's where this goes. It's going to be a really close match, and maybe that'll save me from getting kicked from the Discord. But it really is going to be a fun one to watch, and I look forward to this one probably more than just about any other match this season.
What was your final on this, Mecca?
Oh, I didn't say it yet.
Okay. You want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
Yeah, give your prediction, then we'll do Bowen, and then I'll do my breakdown.
Well, Bowen just predicted. He's calling Bugs.
Bugs in overtime.
Bugs in overtime. Whoa!
Yeah. Going overtime on this one.
Yeah, we don't do overtime, by the way.
I'll go ahead and say it, man.
Overtime.
Unless Dew screws the pooch here, I really think that Dew has a chance to win this time. Did we say Bugs is home on this one?
Yes, they are.
Yeah. I don't know. That may be the deciding factor, actually. I want to say Dew by 10 so bad, but I think that the deciding factor may be home squad, and I think that might put Bugs right at even. I think I'm going to take Bugs by 5.
Bugs by 5, okay. I'm going to give it to us. I think, obviously, I'm biased, but I think we'll have a lot better showing on this map. I know it's Titan, but we pretty much everybody played poorly against in the first game, and we did not have our best lineup in. We had Saab at medic, who is our best killer,
Yeah.
playing med, no iron, and they had basically their ideal starting lineup. So I think people kind of forget that about that first game. I think equal lineups, these squads are a lot more equal, and if we had everybody on, you wouldn't see as wide of a gap as you did on UD. Fosso just hates Canadians, so he was punishing us for having too many Canadians in that game. Other than that, I think we take this game. I think it's gonna be super close. I'm gonna give the win by 9.
Okay. So 2 for
All
Bugs,
right.
1 for Do. It's going to be a hell of a game, though, and it is easily your match of the week. Although I really like the idea of this meeting between Clack, Pow, and American Eagle. If I can say that,
I
that
can't
is
say it on
really
Sunday
hard to
news
say
either.
it.
What is
Click, clack,
what did
pow.
Bowen call
Click,
it?
clack, pow.
Click,
It's
clack,
like
plow, I think, bro.
yeah. See, you
Something
want to
like
put that L in the
Yeah.
POW. It just
I've said click like plow and click
Yeah.
click plow and everything else. I can't get it right either.
yeah. Rename your
But-
squad to something that makes sense.
I think, you know what? Instead of calling a match of the week, this is just the season of the year, or the week of the year, I should say.
It's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
By far, and nothing's
Yeah.
going to touch this. I don't think anything will touch this anytime soon. With how much RNG there is in the schedule, allegedly.
I'm going to get in the
I just
commentary.
don't see it,
I
let
know
alone-
there's a lot of people playing. I'm going to try to get in as much of the commentary as I can. I think it's going to be some fantastic games.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go on to mailbag.
Okay.
Rom, you said you had a couple.
I
You wanna go
do.
ahead?
I do.
I got quite a few. So
Sure. Let's see here. Do you do you have any pre-match rituals prior to Sunday matches, and how many times?
whoa.
Wait a minute.
Match rituals.
I feel called out.
Usually, I pet my dog, drink an energy Monster Zero white can, obviously the best monster, and Papa's in. That's usually what I do.
Papa's in. Poppin' Zins. What about you, Bo?
Masticate, medicate, and masturbate.
I like
There
it.
you go.
The big M's. Eminem. Yeah, no, I just turn out the lights. I turn on this little red light behind me. And yeah, just kind of get in the zone quite a bit more. But I always like to make sure that there is a full soda can next to me, so I don't have to get up at any point.
Oh yeah.
And then I move everything out from in front of, like, my keyboard is to the right, and so I move everything away from my keyboard so there's no possible way that anything hits my arms. That's it.
Well, I should say I do like to clean my. I mean, I clean quite a bit because I got a little bit of OCD, but
Yeah.
I do like to clean my desk area to make sure there's no cans, no Zin packages.
Yeah.
You know,
It's one thing to
nothing.
have clutter during an SB, but yeah, no, on Sunday it's got to be a clean workspace. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
All right,
got
go
I
to
got
the
another
next
one
one.
that follows that kind of from the same person. Any pregame foods or post-match consolation snacks?
What do I do get pizza a lot on Sundays. I got my favorite pizza cart. I get a pepperoni and jalapeno oven baked pizza with hot honey on top. That's not really for USL. That's just kind of what I eat on Sundays. So also that.
Not really. Just kind of sleep is after period. I could just go to sleep. But before, no, not really.
No, I don't have any specific snacks. If I lost, I might make a like a Coke float or something, because that sounds delicious.
Oh,
Coke floats are kind of
Nice.
ever put Coca-Cola in your
dude,
beer like the Germans?
No, absolutely, I have.
Wait,
But
really?
no, I like the the shitty ice cream that comes in like the party pail at like your neighborhood grocery
plastic
store.
tub?
Yes,
Best ice cream.
that is
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
ice cream for floats ever.
True.
And so I would recommend getting that. I do like typically 4 scoops, Coke the whole way. I even got the actual, like, the glass dishes they served in the 1950s diners or whatever, just because it tastes
Shit.
different in those things, man. It really does.
Wait,
But
do you freeze the mug too or no?
not generally, but I should probably get on my game with that because that's
Yeah, come on,
awesome.
dude. If you're gonna do it, do
Yeah,
it.
I really just go big or go home. What am I doing? What am I even doing in my life? Yeah, I agree. But let's see here. If you had to pick, which one do you take? Jaeger or Jaguar? Jaguar.
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 It's a fucking Jaguar.
You know what's funny? I actually was looking up SL stats early in the week, and we were all posting about them after I think Abyss posted a Wayback Machine link. And there's a season that Jaeger finished top 10 kills in SL as Marine.
Yep.
Wow.
And people forget that. Like, I don't think he was ever a great Marine, but he was a good mid-tier 6 starter on like a lower tier squad. But now I think Jag. Jag gets kind of, well, this come up in a mailbag question later too, but I think Jag kind of gets better each week. He's vocal on Discord. He's really starting to figure it out, I think. Kills aren't quite there yet, but I think in the future you'll be able to kind of slot Jag in as a 6th Marine, 5th, 6th Marine on 4th, 5th place squad.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jaguar is, as you guys say, he's improved week to week for 2 seasons now. Watching him improve has been fun to watch. He's gotten way more vocal. It's kind of been interesting to see his growth a bit more. So yeah, Jaeger, 10 to 15 years ago, maybe Jaeger, but as you said, he's really has a problem holding the W key right now, and I'm hoping he can learn to back off that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I play with Jaguar and and he's awesome. I love him. And Jaguar, yeah, he's dude, he's the man. I really enjoy it. He's happy to sit anytime you ask him to. He always wants to play, but he's happy to sit. He's always a team cheerleader. And those are just really good qualities to have. And when he gets on the field, he tries to do his absolute best. And I do see him improve pretty consistently. He's still got some things to learn, but he's definitely improving.
Okay. Any more questions you had, Rom?
I have one more big one, I think, which is who in your mind are the leading candidates for Cave Beast right now, in your opinion?
I think Suicider's got to be top of that list. He had a few good games as LMG. He had a decent game as Med this weekend. He really fits all the criteria. I mean, I don't think he ever played USL. He was a pretty prominent soccer brawler back in the day. He played the first 5-6 seasons of Soccer Brawl, was pretty damn good on a squad called Nation of Domination. Just for a little infantry lore for you. I know Bowen remembers him from that.
Oh yeah.
So I think Suicider's probably my top. Other than that, let me see. Let me go to kills real quick and see if there's anybody else I'm missing that would really fit in Cave Beast. I don't see
let me make an
really.
argument. Bax.
Go ahead.
I mean, Bax has played pretty well. And he is on a lower tier squad. I thought he played really well this past Sunday. To be quite honest, I think he was one of the better players on their team both games.
Yeah, but we've only ever voted the Cave Beast being a good player on the bottom squad the year that we didn't have any new players, and that's why Chica won.
You're saying we just have to go with a new player in general?
If they're available, yeah.
If that's the case, then I think Suicider is probably the clear-cut winner in my mind.
I would throw Cannibal in there. He doesn't exactly fit because he's kind of an older player.
Yeah, Mark the Great's been playing for fucking ever.
But he hasn't played USL in, since SOE. I don't think, right? Like, has he played any free infantry SOE?
I don't know.
USL?
I don't know. He plays on 100 different aliases, so he could have. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he has. Here, let me check real quick, but I don't think so. Yeah, only season. Let's see. What's his other alias? 2 on the site. No one Messiah.
I didn't realize he had multiple aliases on the site even. I didn't catch that. That's great. Mark, what are you doing, man?
He did. Oh, yeah, Cannibal. No, he did play season 1 and 5. Forgot about that.
I mean, but in terms, I
And
mean, it's not like backs. It's not even comparable to a guy that's in every single season for who
right.
knows how long. I get what you're saying, and in that sense, yeah. I mean, he's had a fine
I would
season. He
just
looked good Sunday.
I would just put him in there as like a candidate. I would always take Suicider over him, but that would be like the stretch of somebody I would pick who has played before, who just because he hasn't played. He's played 1-2 last season and this season for free infantry. So
Yeah,
pretty big gap. I think would still qualify him in my mind if Suicider wasn't around, but I think it's gonna be Suicider.
sure.
Yeah, I mean, I wish like Thiz could be more active because like he's had one game, he's been 98. Like I feel like Thiz could be in the running if he could actually show up to play, but I know he works a lot.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of guys who could do it, but yeah, Suicider's probably like the guy.
Looking back at the past few seasons of the K Beast winners, how are they doing now, and have they lived up to your expectations and their potential? Just a reminder of some of those. In season 24, we had the Great Chompy. In season 25, we had Chuck. In season 26, we had Exodus, and in season 53, we had Cal.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead.
It's like most improved in NBA, you know. Generally, if you win most improved in NBA, you're gonna have a good career. We pick good players. Like the awards committee are all full of veterans who have seen thousands of people come in and out of USL and SL. So you can kind of pinpoint. Obviously, sometimes the choices available aren't the greatest, so you'll see some dips. But even going back to like, I think Ghost Bomber had a really good season 20, played a few seasons, kind of disappeared. Septicemia was leading, had a few good seasons. Probably he ended up on season 27, I think, one year. Center completely quit the game, only plays Football Manager now. A little bit of FIFA, and then Cal kind of just disappeared. But I think if Cal played this year, it would definitely boost that roster as a medic. I think he had a future. He kind of just completely disappeared. So
Cal is in here listening, by the way. Yeah, Cal's actually been
oh shit.
busy. Yeah, Cal's been busy most of this season. He may be kind of tweaking his way back around. We're unsure. So he's if he is, I mean, yeah, I have high hopes for Cal, and I've said before, like I tried to recruit him before as a player when I was kind of helping co-captain the squad a little bit. I mean, he's improved drastically over time, and I hope he can maintain some of that rustiness. It doesn't come back to bite him a little bit when he was out. So I mean, Cal definitely has the potential to step up and do some work.
Yeah.
And Chompy, I called seasons ago. I said this guy's gonna get 50 kills one game in the near future, and he's been killing it lately. So
That's what I was gonna say. I think we have had some standout members from the Cave Beast Award, like the Great Chompy is a great one as an example that have done really well and found a position as a top player in the league. Chuck, I think we're still expecting some things from. I don't think he's hit his ceiling yet. Just still needs to be consistently playing, and he probably needs to learn. Like we've always said, season after season, he needs to shift over to Marine. I think Exodus still hasn't hit his ceiling at all, and yeah, I haven't seen a lot from Cal to know where he's going. But I agree that a lot of them have steadily improved generally and turned into really solid members of the league. And that's kind of what the goal of the K Beast is, to recognize somebody who's on that trajectory. So I think in that sense, it's done its job as an award.
I think we've done a pretty good job. Yeah, absolutely. Did you have any more, or was that your last one?
No, that's my last one. No, actually, I got one sent in just a moment ago. What squad has a bigger crutch? Do the dude needing Sob to play a combat class to be remotely competitive, or care package relying on Danny to do literally anything?
God damn.
That is savage.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Why are you guys going after my boy Danny? He's the nicest guy in infantry.
I think that was more going on about everybody else besides Danny, but yeah.
Everybody saying soft question. Wow. I'm gonna say Sov, and here's why. I think Do the Do is a very competitive squad without Sov as well. Yeah, that's true. Sov would have submitted that to me. I think Do the Do is competitive without Sov, absolutely. But I think the ceiling is obviously a lot higher with Sov. And not just because he's a killer, but he's also very vocal and has what he wants to do. and then we play a different style when Sov's in, as you can see in different matches. So I think the stylistic change, because Pister leads one way, Sov kind of has a different view, so we kind of blend those two when Sov is in. As far as Danny goes on to care package, if Danny has a good game, care package beats bugs. If Danny doesn't have a good game, they kind of get farmed by do the do. So it's a really tough question. I'll say Sov just because I think if Danny plays the game of his life, care package still loses. If Sov plays the game of his life, we beat OFB by 70 in the finals.
I think there are other people on care package who could play that role. But Danny does it, more noticeably. I feel like Leak could come out and do it at any point in time. There's guys who could do that. But Sov is, I hate to sound like I'm jerking off Sov all the time, but Sov is Sov. Like he changes the way things happen. He changes the way the game flows. And if you don't play around him, you lose. And so, yeah, you have to. That's just the way that works, and it's always going to be Sov in a question like that.
I completely agree, and I don't even know why this is even. You guys are saying this is a good question. It's really close. It's not close at all. Like Sov is absolutely the most integral part of that team. You take Sov out, and every other Bugs becomes way competitive and probably the superior squad out there. And I think Care Package becomes very competitive if Sov is not even on the field. So I don't even think that's a question. Now, if he's a medic or something, I don't know. I mean, as far as Danny, man, I think you are put some respect on Sabotage's name, dude. Last weekend in SB, he killed 3 people with 7 HP. My teammates can attest to that. Sabotage is absolutely nuts sometimes. Also, are you guys just overlooking that Ninja is on the roster? Like, when Ninja shows up, which he has several times, you're crazy, dude. Danny, I'm sorry, Ninja is a better player than Danny. I love Danny. Ninja is a better player. That is a fact. Exodus and Leak and Shasta also sitting there. You're crazy, but y'all need to put some respect on Sabotage's name. You're insulting the man.
I mean, Sabo did go 2-9 versus us this weekend, so
I said that was an off game. That was the whole point of my commentary. Jesus Christ, I said it was an off game. But Sabotage does not play like that normally, and I think everybody recognizes that.
I'll ask my next mailbag question because somebody asked who Bugs' crutch was. Somebody asked me, would Fausto start on Bugs if he didn't lead?
Ooh, how?
Let me look at that.
Like that.
Paulo said no immediately before I even finished the sentence.
TG Tactical, Kaga, Chompy. I just don't think that Bugs is as stacked. Like, Rio's not there. If Rio were there, this would be a tough question. But I'm sorry, Fausto. I'm taking Fausto over Cage every single time. I'm not saying Cage is a bad player.
This season?
Yes. I mean, 43 and 23 for Fausto and 32 and 17 for Cage. But
look at the competitive games.
I get what you're saying, but I think Fausto brings a whole lot, and also we know what that man could do 1v1 to somebody. But
we know we can do Pax 1 versus 1, but
yeah, that's more specifically to his teammate right now. But I think Fausto's much better than that. I think that Bugs have a solid roster, but Fausto is probably in that starting 8.
I think, and the question being if Fausto didn't have a microphone, right? Like if he just couldn't speak. I think what you're looking at a lot when you see him have these off games with some of the higher tier squads is like he's been leading squads the last several seasons that are a little bit more passive, either not good squads like, Nexus or, he led the territorial squad last season that, Dark Slayers for a couple seasons that were way more passive. And now he's playing in a more aggressive mentality squad and he's having to change the way he plays. And so I think if he couldn't speak, he could probably lean into that a little bit more. But since he's leading that style, it changes how things go.
Yeah, I agree. I think Fausto starts. It's just I think it's a funny question to ask, and
it is a funny question.
Could be considered serious as well. All right. Would you have given Bax the appeal? No. It didn't matter if the game was closer. maybe, but no.
Dude,
I don't think we
Care
need to go too
Package
far
are
into
the
it.
only team that had a legitimate chance at appeal. Like, you got to be kidding me. If all advantages go your way, you don't get to appeal that. That's not how this works.
Which one do I want to ask next? Okay, is Dead Squads just Dark Slayers version 2 but worse?
Ooh, ow.
I don't think they're
Damn.
Dark Slayers at all.
I mean, they got Manu, Typhoon, Ender, Uni.
It's definitely some crossover there, but like you have a Big Bird who, you know, is like sort of a major shot caller on that. It just doesn't feel like the same squad, like style wise.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm wrong.
and
but
Dave, I mean, Dave hasn't been around for a while. He adds a completely different dynamic to everything. Stav, you know, like with Pandy. Yeah, no, especially when Pandy was not in an Asian country. This was a very just different team. Yeah, I don't see them as Dark Slayers at all.
I think they're very similar to Dark Slayers. Would I say they're worse? I think I'll say we'll see. Wow, Fax on the chat. Good job, Fax. I'll say we'll see because
I think they're definitely worse.
I think the past couple seasons, Dark Slayers has been Dark Slayers wasn't really good in the regular season a lot, but they played really well in the playoffs in 2 of their 3 seasons.
I mean,
So
King,
I think if
just King
Dead
alone.
Squad, no comment on that, but if Dead Squad can be competitive in the playoffs, like Dark Slayers were, pushing season 27 last season and Birds or Cats, whatever the fuck they were, to like 1 kill this couple seasons before that, I will say they're on equal level. Until then, I do give Dark Slayers a slight edge. We kind of already asked this one. Which 3 players have potential to become a solid mid-tier level starter for Marines for next season and why? Kind of the Cave Beast, but a little bit expanded. My list would be Suicider because I think he's had a few really good in context LMG games. Jag, which I kind of already touched on, he's already vocal. Some people say too vocal, and he gets it. I think he understands positioning mostly. So once his skills catch up to his communication, I think he'll be a very solid starter on a mid-tier squad. Last one, I'm gonna keep pumping it. Llama, if he goes Marine. I think Llama Med experiment is done. Play him at Marine, that guy can fucking aim. Play him at LMG, something where his positioning can get better, but it doesn't matter as much because if he's Med and he dies first, that kills the battle. If he's Marine and dies first, he's gonna either A, chunk somebody, or B, take somebody out. Yeah, Llama could kill anyone Marine 1v1 aim wise, and that's true. It's just a brain thing that has to come along with it. So once that develops, I think Llama could be good. He's got a long way to go. He's got to really dive in like Chompy and Exodus did. And really, because the cave beast that you mentioned that really turned out well, really dove into the game. Chompy, Chuck,
Yes.
Exodus, they dove in the game. They wanted to understand the game. They're
Put
watching
the time
VODs. They're
in.
asking veterans. They're putting the time in. So if Llama can do that, he has the potential to be. If he doesn't, he's just going to end up wasted potential on Med, and I don't want to see that. So also stop playing Call of Duty with Splitta.
I definitely looking at just to add to that, looking at Jaeger, who's 30 and 78. If he could get those deaths under control and participate in more fights longer, I think he could flip the script on his score real quick in just a season or two. He's just got to get those deaths under control. That's the only part of his game that's a struggle.
Anybody else you want to add, Bowen?
I mean, no, I mean, yeah, you guys covered it pretty well. I think Draco could fit in there somewhere, obviously, because Draco's longtime veteran, great with positioning. And Spark, like, again, we talk about the demo a little bit, but like Spark can open up battles, and if he can, like, I've seen him on Ripper too, and he's actually a damn good Ripper.
I'd like to see him
Spark
play
has
that.
some utility. Yeah, Spark has some great utility.
Yeah, Ripper would be a good place for him. At least that's a class that I can justify having in the game. all the time, pretty much. I'm not
Now,
sure about his demo all the time.
I want to remind chat that we're talking about these guys having potential to be like a mid-level starter, not superstars in the league. So, if we were picked superstars, I'd pick other people, but to be like that mid-level starter, that first man off the bench, the last Marine on like a mid-tier squad, that's kind of what we're talking about here. I'll go on to the next one though. What map changes should be done to KR to make it more advantageous for the north side team? Left and right bases. I don't know why we haven't done it yet. We do it in all the mini maps. It makes it more balanced. Somebody please make left and right bases.
Slop called it. Turn the map upside down.
But even then you know it's gonna be an advantage for the bottom every time. You just need to have left and right. It's the only thing that's fair in infantry. Everybody, you know, you're either, it's a very polarizing subject shooting down from bottom to top. Some people say, oh, bottom to top is way easier. Some people say it doesn't matter. It matters. Shooting bottom to top is always easier. Getting the position underneath is always easier, especially if you're a mouser, when your chat's in the way when you're shooting down compared to, you know, just green grass shooting up. So make the DSs side to side is what I would say. Yeah, left to right, I don't see this big left to right. I don't really care, but top or bottom to top is if you were to look at take KR. If you were to look at Colley's win percentage compared to Titan's win percentage, if anybody has the time or want to do that, I think you'd see a very poor picture. I think
dramatic,
it would be,
dramatic score for the bottom. It being superior.
I think you'd see 65 to 75% from bottom.
Yeah.
I don't have too many other ones because we're kind of running long. I'll ask one that I didn't pre-ask you guys because I got it mid-show, but I'll just go through it myself. If you have any thoughts on it, go ahead. But rank each squad in correlation with fast food restaurants. Okay. Do. I said Firehouse subs.
That has to be a Chat GPT question.
It's so good though.
Well, no, we were talking about fast food in Bax's Discord today. So
okay,
and I did a tier those things. So do Firehouse subs, great meat, which is the killers, great bread, which is the medics, bugs, Chick-fil-A, they never disappoint, except sometimes you get some stale chicken tenders.
Damn,
you know, like against Care Package. Care Package, I said Taco Bell sometimes is amazing, especially when you're drunk. Sometimes they give you the shits, like they did against Do the Dude twice this year. Dead Squad, I said Five Guys. Great fries, the medics, everything else, hit or miss. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not so good.
It costs too much.
Click, Clack, Pow. There you go.
Good job.
I said Little Caesars. It does the trick. You know, it's food for sure. It's definitely food.
It's definitely edible.
But it gives you the shits, and it's low quality food. Although sometimes the pepperoni cups are pretty good. Kevin and Bax and Yosh. American Eagle, I said Burger King. Used to be good back in the day.
Dude.
Gotten worse with time.
Put some respect on Burger King's name as well.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
The fact that you just put Burger King over us.
I was going to say gas station sushi, but
I'll fucking stab you.
Yeah, no, I love Burger King. The Whopper's the greatest sandwich ever.
25 years ago, I would agree with you, but now it's just cardboard and inside of
there's a good one somewhere in another country, not somewhere in another state, but like anywhere around here, I get the absolute dog shits from anything Burger King related.
And their fries are bad, their tenders are bad now, like, or nuggets, I should say. It's just not a lot of good going on there.
Yeah, man, I guess we just have responsible Burger Kings here that are still serving up food with a smile. I don't know.
Not here.
Yeah. Not here. I don't think I've had Burger King in like 6 years. Last time I had it, not good. Yeah, that's all I got. Did you guys have any other questions? Any other comments?
I have nothing for you.
All right. Well, that wraps up USL Live Season 54 Week 6 preview. I remind you to go to uslzone.com, youtube.com/infantry online to watch the matches. Other than that, good night.